You ever get that feeling, just for a split second, that if you vanished, the world would just shrug? Yeah, that's the kind of thought you have when you're staring at your own front porch at 3 a.m., watching the shadows move and thinking, how the hell did I get here? But honestly, nothing stings quite like realizing the person who ruined your life is probably still sleeping just fine across the street. I guess this is how it goes. One day, you're just minding your business, cutting your grass, waving at the mailman, and the next, you're fighting a war with people who think a clipboard gives them the right to walk all over you. If you stick around, maybe you'll learn something. Or maybe you'll just shake your head and laugh at my stupidity. Either way, I'm not letting you go that easy. Buckle up. Summy family's house. It wasn't just a house. My grandfather built it with hands that looked like they could bend steel, but only ever held me gentle. The place stood there long before anyone thought to lay down sidewalks. My childhood, measured in splinters from the dock, fish stories that grew every summer, and the kind of laughter that echoed across the lake long after dark. I stayed when everyone else left. My siblings scattered jobs, lovers, passports full of stamps while I was here, mowing the same stubborn patch of grass and thinking, yeah, I'm holding the line. But time, time doesn't care. It moves. It circles. And eventually, it brings developers. All those empty lots got snatched up. Next thing I knew, there was an HOA buying every inch they could, wrapping us all in rules and paint colors, and calling it progress. I didn't fight. Not at first. I waved. Nodded. I actually believed, maybe foolishly, that if you just respect people's boundaries, they'll respect yours. Guess that was my first mistake. That summer, this is the part where everything turns me. Mom came back home. She'd been gone a while, hospital beds, rehab, the whole 9 yards, but there she was in her wheelchair, sunlight making her eyes almost young again. She wanted to know about the lake. You still go fishing? She asked, grinning like she already knew the answer. Elite, said I hadn't gone in years. She just smiled, that secret mom smile, and pointed out wet footprints on the dock, broken reeds, grass pressed flat. Things I'd ignored. I told her she was imagining things. But you can't lie to your mom. Not really. You know that feeling when you're sure you're being watched? Or maybe not watched, but intruded on? That's how it started. Little things. Trash that wasn't ours. A chair moved just enough to be unsettling. Gate latch always warm in the morning, like someone else's hand had been there first. At night, I'd hear things laughing, the clink of bottles, voices drifting over the water. I told myself it was nothing. You sound crazy accusing neighbors without proof. Well, proof always comes, just not the way you expect. I brushed it off for a while. My mom didn't. She noticed everything. And after a while, so did I. Maybe that's what got me realizing your own home could feel wrong. Like someone's reading your diary out loud, and everyone's pretending it's normal. But you wait, because you think if I make a scene, I'm the problem. One night, I gave in, pulled up the camera feed, scrolled through footage until my coffee went cold. Frame after frame, there it was, people on my dock on my land. Karen, that Karen front and center, swinging keys like she owned the place. Behind her, the rest of the board coolers, fishing rods, folding chairs acting like my lake was their private club. They came when I was gone, or late enough to think no one would see. That kind of anger, it doesn't burn hot. It settles. It's heavy, focused, makes you want to do something stupid but measured. So I called an emergency HOA meeting. On my porch, I wanted them to look me in the eye in my own space. Karen showed up first, loud, fake friendly, already talking over me before she sat down. When I laid out what I'd seen, she laughed. Waived the bylaws, said the lake was on community land, so, deal with it. Never mind the deeds, never mind the boundaries. She said, the police won't touch this. You want to sue? Go ahead, see how far that gets you. And the others just watched silent, eyes on the floor, nobody wanting to get involved. I told her, dead calm, that my property wasn't up for debate. She smirked like she wanted lightning to strike. Back inside, I checked everything again. More footage, and then I saw it Karen using a key. Not a copy, not a Jimmy, just a clean unlock like she belonged there. My stomach dropped. Either someone gave her that key, or she'd swiped it during one of those routine inspections. Just expected to get away with it, because she always had. So I changed the locks, reinforced the gates, set alarms, called a lawyer who listened a little too carefully. And Karen? She cranked it up. Violation notices started coming every day. Grass too high. Paint not the right shade. Dock not up to code. The fines stacked up like a dare. I didn't pay. Not a cent. I documented everything, photos, logs, every passive-aggressive voicemail where her voice dripped with fake authority. My friends told me to give up. Said HOAs always win, the system is rigged, and I was just wasting energy. But I'm not wired that way. I told them, bullies win when you stay quiet. My mom asked, gently, if all this was worth it. She said water should be shared, that peace is better than pride, but sometimes pride's all you have. I told her it wasn't about the fish or the dock. It was about the line. Once you let people cross it, they never stop. There was a stretch of days, after that maybe a week, where everything was quiet. No cars late at night. No laughter across the water. Cameras dead. Mom joked that maybe the warnings worked. Maybe sharing a lake wasn't worth a war. I try to tell her, Karen never retreats. She reloads. People like her don't get tired, they just get sneakier. The next week, I had to go out of town. Routine trip, nothing special. Double-checked the alarms, called Mom twice a day, reminded her to keep things locked. She called herself the Fortress General. Laughed. The second morning, my phone started blowing up calls from numbers I didn't know, one voicemail half drowned out by sirens. My neighbor voice, shaking, said there'd been an emergency. My chest just caved in. I drove like the world was ending. Couldn't even get down the street. Cops everywhere, yellow tape in the air, ambulance parked like it was waiting for me. I ran. Someone tried to stop me, some official. I don't even remember his face. Then I saw it. The bag. Black. Still way too small for how loud my heart was pounding. My mother. Gone. The world folded in and just stopped. They told me, gentle voices, that someone broken while I was gone. The camera's off, course got it all. Karen again. Alone this time. She didn't expect my mom to be there. There was shouting. My mom threatened to call the police. The video showed hands grabbing the phone, the wheelchair tipping, wheels scraping wood, then water screams. Karen froze. She ran. She didn't call for help, didn't even check. She called neighbors. Minutes slipped away. I couldn't watch the rest. They did, over and over, until there was nothing left to question. The lake outside was calm, acting innocent. Neighbors whispered. Karen vanished behind lawyers and official statements. I sat on the porch where my mom used to laugh. Didn't know what to do with all the silence. Grief, man, grief is a weird thing. It crushes you, but underneath it, something colder starts growing. You start thinking about records, evidence, who saw what. Days don't pass, they pile up. You walk around your own house, and everything feels like a witness. The lake just sits there, shiny and empty, pretending it didn't see anything. The police didn't blink. They combed through every scrap of footage, matched timestamps down to the second, boosted the audio, compared logs. Karen's key turned up again and again. Phone records showed how long she waited to call for help. That mattered. Her story kept changing: panic, then confusion, then denial, then suddenly she was accusing me. None of it stood up. Court came. Karen showed up looking small, quiet, like she borrowed humility for the day. No clipboard, no jitting. Prosecution didn't need drama. They laid it out: illegal entry, negligence, obstruction, manslaughter. The jury saw it all, saw how people with power can become dangerous when nobody says no. They showed that leaving a disabled woman in the water wasn't panacea, it was a choice. Neighbors came forward. Some admitted they were scared of her. Others said they saw more than they ever let on. Even old board members cracked. The spare key? Traced straight to her. There was no out. The verdict dropped, not a sound in the room, just a heaviness. Guilty on all counts. Decades in prison, no early parole. They stripped her of every bit of authority, banned from ever running anything, anywhere, ever again. Civil court followed. Every dime gone. The HOA itself collapsed, poisoned from the inside out. Her name turned into a warning. I spoke once in court, not in anger, but clear. I said boundaries only work when you remember to be human first. Karen couldn't look at me. The house is still here. The lake is still here. Some scars you keep because forgetting would be worse. My mom's laughter, sometimes I think I hear it late at night over the water. The place is quieter now, but that's not always a bad thing. So now you tell me, did she get what she deserved? Or does karma still have a bill to settle? Ever had someone like that in your life, someone who thought the rules didn't apply to them? Tell me your story. I got all night.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã xem video.